Hey everybody, welcome to another robot review. We're going to do another unboxing. I have had a few shots of tequila, so feeling okay. I've got a bit of a cold, which is hence why I'm having tequila to try to clear out my throat. Got a bit of a cough. But I'm going to try to get through this without being a little bit off the subject. But we've got the next unboxing from Hasbro. It's the next part of Age of the Primes. And I know what's in the box. Oh, you know what? I mislabeled this video. I mislabeled this. And by the time it goes out, it will have been fixed, so none of this will matter. This is not what I thought. I thought this was going to be the unboxing of Alchemist Prime, which is McAdam, bartender from McAdam's old oil house on various bits of Transform programming as I wave my knife at you threateningly. I'm not threatening you. But this isn't that. This is, I forgot where I ordered it from. See, tequila. And let's get into it and find out what it really is. I know what it is now that I've thought about it, but you don't. So, this, of course, comes from Big Bad Toy Store, which has not always been reliable in the past, but in this case, they came through. Open up the box here. And before we get too far into that, set that aside for a minute. And let's get this, because we're going to need this. We're going to need this guy over here. Let's turn off that. Put that there. Because, and now you probably know what's in this box if you're a robot enthusiast. It's going to match that over. Let's open it up. Now, the other one came inside a box, Okay. It had the typical, like the Masterpiece level black box, the wording and the title on the outside, and then you get into it to see it. This one comes in a standard Hasbro style box, but with a bunch of, it's got a lot of Japanese characters on it and things, and interesting. So what is this? This is the Optimus Prime Type 3 Mechagodzilla. Kiryu, as he's known in some forms of the, in some of the movies. I've never been a gigantic expert on Godzilla movies, so I didn't know that he had another name other than Mechagodzilla. And as you can see, he doesn't look like a Godzilla. He looks like a Prime. There are upgrade kits already available for both him and to make this one look less like Grimlock and more like Godzilla, which I'll probably be getting both in the near future. I'm not sure exactly. But this one is based off of the modernized Laser Prime mold, which they made a new Laser Prime, which I don't have because we have the old original, not the original, but we have the Titans Return Combiner Wars redo of Laser Prime. But I do have the modern legacy versions of Scourge and Toxitron and the Target exclusive Optimus Prime, who I named something else and I don't remember. So this is based off of those, and I like that mold, and I liked these colors. And to be perfectly honest, I'm probably going to use this as an entirely different character than a Prime. Anyway, well, at least than an Optimus Prime. So it won't really have a connection with Godzilla when I'm using it, but whatever. I'll get to that in a minute. The plastic we're pulling out. We got the instructions in a nice plastic bag over here. Put that to the side. There is some tape? No, there's no tape. The top just comes right off the bottom of the little clamshell thing. He's packed. Oh, well, he's packed in there well. The trailer is not. It's just sitting there, nothing to hold it in. But it's the standard tanker trailer that comes with this style of robot. Plus, you get the shield slash axe thing. It always looks kind of weird. I get that it's supposed to be kind of like an axe, but having the round part's weird. The sword, an energy sword. Neither one of these, of course, are secured in the package. But the main robot is. He's got all the little ropes and bits and stuff, the plastic pieces, so he's got quite a few of them to hold him down. I'm going to try to get into this without hurting ourselves. You know what? I'll put these still here, because that way I can keep track of all that. And parts of these have already been cut. So that's weird. It doesn't look like he's been actually removed from the package. It looks like he's had some of these weren't secured in the package. All these little strings, all these little bits and things. I want the cats to eat them. And here he is. He comes packed up in truck mode with a scale motif on the front. It's interesting that they kept him as a truck because Mechagodzilla, of course, was another Godzilla. And I understand they didn't want to just make another copy of this same Grimlock movie to do both. And I'm not sure what they could have used otherwise for it. I imagine they didn't want to use the Megatron. Well, see, because the Godzilla is already a Megatron for whatever reason. It has a Megatron head inside of all this, right? So, of course, if you're going to have Megatron, you got a Prime. But Mechagodzilla was kind of like the evil robot that went bad during a lot of Godzilla stuff, if I remember right. And in the modern retelling, it had the essence of King Ghidorah, which made him evil. And Godzilla was good, so. But I understand why they didn't. They could have, if they were going to make it based on that, they could have used the Megatron Dragon mold, just taken the wings off and maybe shortened the neck, but maybe that was too much. I don't know. Now I'm going to do, I don't usually do this because it's always fumbly and weird. I don't have a nice clean view for you to see what I'm doing, but I am going to transform him so you can see him in robot mode. You're not going to catch every little bit of what I'm doing, but I'm going to show some of it so that you can. The front opens up, right? This top flips up, the arms. Arms are going to go down. See, this is why I don't usually do this kind of stuff, because oh, pulled the piece off already. That part doesn't want to, oh, because that part pushes out the back. Because some of the stuff is connected in kind of tight ways, and I don't want to look like I'm a doofus in how I'm doing this. You know what I mean? There's the arms, there's the head. That goes along the back. That's going to go back like that. That's going to go down. Shoulders are going to go up. Okay. Yeah, the shoulders are going to go up. The arms are going to go in that way. Those. Up into that. I think they do. Yep. Yeah. To fill in the hollow spot. Because then those attach. Right? Do they not? Those are seeming to butterfly out in a weird way. Arms aren't seeming to attach very well, but maybe I've got something wrong. You guys are not seeing any of this, and you're like, oh, what is he doing? Did he break it? No. I'm just not knowing, not remembering how this is supposed to go. But I think I got it figured out here. And that goes back along the back. Gonna itch my foot. Because I an itch. Maybe while I move my knife over there. Foot. Ooh, that's kind of tight. Eesh. Bring those down. That's pretty loose in there. And this is what you end up with. Okay? Doesn't look much like Mechagodzilla, right? It's got the little tampographed Godzilla thing, if it'll focus here. And unlike my other ones of this, there's a spot. I'm going to lift up his shoulder here to show you. It goes in there, and it's supposed to kind of. I think it's supposed to snap in there. Oh, okay. I got it. It takes a little bit of doing. All right. To get those arms in there. Those shoulders were not wanting to stick in there. That was weird. But there is the finished product. Now, again, doesn't look much like Mechagodzilla, other than maybe the colors. The upgrade kit adds like a head covering piece, that's a Godzilla robot head, and various other things that help a little bit. But to be honest, I would use him as a Nova Prime because he's close to. He's not exactly the colors of Nova Prime, but he does have very similar an overall color scheme. Nova Prime was white and grayish blue, whereas this guy's silver with the blue on the shoulders and things. And I feel like to me he gives off vibes of a different version of Nova Prime. So I would think I would use him for that. He's got good articulation and everything, all this usual stuff. Parts of him are strangely loose, like this elbow unit here, whereas this one is not so loose. His head is a bit on the loose side. His knees are nice and tight. The hips are a bit iffy. But I like the overall mold. I wish you could do different things with the shoulders. But I mean, they have the usual like open up with rockets inside and things of that nature. Um, you put his sword in his hand here. It probably goes in that hand. Oh, okay. Yeah. Come on. Real tight. Real tight getting that sword in there. That's what your mom said. Real tight that. The other piece, of course, he's supposed to hold either like as a shield or as an axe, which I think is weird. Either way. So, between the two, which is the better figure? I don't know. They're both pretty good molds. The Grimlock mold, the 86 Grimlock mold, is what this is pretty good. And the Megatron head is cool. It's almost like you would use him as the Beast Wars Megatron in classic G1 styling. But with the color scheme, you'd almost assume he wasn't Megatron, maybe he was Crytek. Crytek was Megatron's mentor in Beast Wars from the comics. You didn't hear about him too much in the show at all. But he was like Megatron's dragon form, but he was a blue dragon. I don't know. He was in the comics, it wasn't. Doesn't make a whole lot of sense. Continuity sometimes is iffy. But then I have to try to figure out a justification for why Nova Prime would be battling Crytek. And that would take some headcanon juggling, I think. But I do like these molds, and they do look kind of cool, facing off, even if they're not. For being a Godzilla collab, I think it could have been done a little bit better. You know what I mean? I get it, and it's got some nice subtle nods, but I don't know, it's not the way that I would have gone if I was trying to do things. But also, I mean, you also have the yet another matrix in there, and this one's yellow, so you have a matrix of every color. These laser primes and things. But anyway, that's the what do they call them? Optimus Prime type MFS3 Mechagodzilla. Kiryu type Kiryu. So, I like to figure I like the colors, whether it's very faithful to Godzilla or not as a franchise. I don't know. That's up to your personal ideas of how that would work, I suppose. I'm gonna get the upgrade kits and then we'll revisit it and see if it looks any better from there. And then we'll find out. So I'm gonna set him aside, I'll get the stuff cleaned up. And of course the trailer comes apart to make like a little battle station, and this little gun comes off, you can hold it and things of that nature. But yeah, that's it. The next figure I get should be the Mac Adam figure. Why I messed it up this time, I don't know. And I knew better. I just had this idea that I got the Mac Adam first for some reason. I don't know why. But regardless, that'll be the next one. And then that'll be it. So, till next